Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my entry into the KPMG. No, hang on, that's an accountancy firm. The GBKM. No, that's not it. The KGB. No. The MGKB. That's it. Contest. Got there in the end. Mike at KPMG. Oh no, Mike at his channel is shooting for a quadrillion, whatever that is, subscribers by I think 4 p.m. on Thursday, and that's a coincidence, as I have my own quad-based target to reach, and that's 104 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm on 103 now, so it's touch and go whether I get there or not. Anyway, Mike has set 10 things that he wants us to show or do or speak about, so let's get on with that. Shall we? First off, he wants us to show an album owned by your partner that you don't like. An album you don't like, I assume, not a partner that you. Anyway, my wife Lisa is not a huge music fan, but she's got a couple of CDs, including some by a chap called Michael Bublé. Now, I have nothing against Mr. Bublé, but I can't say I enjoy his music. And sadly, her CDs are all up in the attic where they stay in, and I'm not going up there just for the sake of a video. But take my word for it, as much as I love her, both the CDs and Lisa's musical tastes are currently out of my reach, shall we say. Number 2, show your favourite snack and review it. I can't show any because I've eaten them all, but let's just say you don't maintain a sleek schoolboy physique just like mine. What do you mean? By eating crisps or biscuits. And my favourite thing to snack on is grapes. Now, as for reviewing them, what's to say? They are mainly oval and sometimes spherical, come in a few different colours, and they taste delicious. Just make sure you get seedless ones and don't eat the ones they used to make wine with. No. Number 3, wear a cool shirt and say why it's cool. Yeah. It's this sweatshirt my daughter made for me, and depicting my favourite Formula 1 driver of all time, the late, great James Sex for Breakfast Hunt. What a man. He was very, very cool, so it stands to reason this shirt is too, and because my daughter made it for and gifted it to me, double reasons. Next up, share a positive and negative concert experience and show an album by the respective artists. On the plus side, there are so many I could mention, and I've told many of them in here in the past. Queen as a first live show, for instance, Maiden, Sabbath, etc. But I'm going to choose a show by a band called Spider, who was supporting Gillan back in 1983 when they played in the Bramwyn Hall here in my hometown. Now, Gillan were disappointing. I think the fractures in the band were beginning to tell. Spider, though, were immense, blasting out a really high-energy, status quo on steroids set, if you like. After the show, we then walked back to the city centre, stopping for some chips on the way, but who happened to be in the chip shop but the guys from Spider? We were invited back onto their tour bus and spent a good hour with them. I even got my programme from the night signed. I sadly no longer have their album, there's the programme, given away years ago. But I still have that programme, obviously, and a single of theirs. Give them a spin on YouTube. Well worth a listen. Am I allowed to share another positive experience? No? Okay. Oh, well, too bad. I'm going to share it anyway. When I was about 18 and a student in the Polytechnic of Wales, a band called Amazulu were performing in the Student Union Bar on a Wednesday night. And my mate and I didn't have tickets and weren't therefore obviously going to the gig, but we were in the bar having a pint in the afternoon anyway. The band turned up and asked if anyone could help get their gear from their bus. And of course, we jumped into action on the promise of some free beer and duly obliged. And we were then even placed onto the guest list for the night and got to see the show after all. And afterwards, we helped them pack away before being invited back onto the bus. There's a pattern here and there for drinks, etc. Now, we were young, naive and wet behind the ears, 18-year-olds, and given Amazulu were made up of 5 young women and a male drummer, it was that naivety which saw the night go in a completely innocent direction. Anyway, one band member rather ironically signed an autograph for me, calling me Big Nick. Now, I was tall, I guess, at around 6 feet, but weighed only around 10 stone, soaking wet. So when I showed my girlfriend at the time the autograph, she wondered why she called me that. I don't know. You know what they say about men with big noses, but behave. Come on, behave. A negative experience, I can only really think of one, and it's the one I mentioned in a recent thread, and it was AC/DC at Wembley Arena in, I think, 1988. The show was okay, but my girlfriend at the time, who I went with, wasn't. We watched the support act doc, and before AC/DC came on, I was looking at her, and she was getting paler and paler before throwing up. She'd managed to get a stomach bug and had to be taken backstage. I know that's not a euphemism, to a first aid room where we spent most of the AC/DC set. So although I got to hear the band, I didn't get to see much of them. Do you really need to see an AC/DC album? There you go. There's that one. Right then, next up, a money, no object dream holiday destination. Well, I'm not that well travelled and I haven't been outside of Europe, unless you count Port Talbot, but I've always wanted to go to Japan, and long before Peter Scove and I became friends too. It's a country and culture that's always fascinated me, and sadly one that now, due to my health, I should never ever experience. Number 6, show a Blue album. You meant a blues album, didn't you? Anyway, does this count? It's not an album per se, but it does have a track called a Blues Breaker on it. Number 7, show a hat in your collection and why you love it. Yeah, come on. Do I look like the sort of person who has a collection of hats? Come on. Anyway, next, Mike asks us to show an album by a male and female artist who could be a supermodel. Now, I was once approached by a modelling agency, would you believe, who thought I had an ideal look for their company. I turned them down, though. I said I'm not prostituting myself to sell socks for anybody. Anyway, looks are subjective, and for a male, I've gone with Jim Smith from Cardiacs. Hang on. That's him there. You should see the man's pout. For a female, well, I only have eyes for my my lovely wife, but if pushed, it has to be Kate, doesn't it? Eh? Come on. The penultimate choice, show a song you don't need to hear ever again, and I'm plumping for Ace of Spades by Motorhead. It's one of those songs, just like Paranoid, gets played on mainstream radio every time someone who likes a bit of rock music requests, a request. It's a great song, but it's been played at an absolute death. Lastly then, show an album that includes an excellent duet. And boring, I know, but you did ask for excellence. So Hot Space by the... Hang on, get the record. Oh dear. Hot Space by the excellent Queen, which excellently includes the excellent Under Pressure with David Bowie, who is excellent, is my somewhat obvious choice. Shame, though, about most of the rest of the record, but there you go. Anyway, there you go, Mike. Email me with details of my prize, and I just wonder which one of us will hit our target first. So I got a feeling you probably pip me to that. Okay, everyone, until next time, let's all just be nice to each other, is it? Ta-ra.